Hey, it's your boy Coming Be Reading. Today we're going to talk about that time I got reincarnated as a Goblin King, aka my big Goblin Space program. In this, we follow Apollo. He is a former astronaut that was reincarnated as a Goblin King in the New World, and his goal at the end of the day is still going to be to reach the moon. I feel like the story was very reminiscent of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. We have our main character reincarnated into an unfamiliar place with magic skills and things like that, that has a mysterious system that's kind of helping him along the way. So you'll see a lot of similarities, but that's kind of really where it ends from there. I think the story overall was very decently placed. We introduced friend and foe alike at a fairly consistent cadence. Um, One cool thing, I think we set the second book up in the series kind of early, just so that you can see there's a couple of outliers, a couple thoughts that are going to come together and come to fruition. Maybe not now, but a little bit later. Um, feel like the ending of the book, we had a big conflict that was set up within the first couple of chapters with a race called the Javelin. They're a cross between orcs and dwarves, so very interesting concepts for races in this. But something happens between Apollo and them, and then they have a big conflict from there that we get a pretty good payoff for at the end. Um, my only complaint is that the payoff kind of felt like an afterthought. We kind of threw it in for the last 12 pages just to make sure that we got it out of the way. But it also seems a little bit rash how it was handled. But hey, you do what you think is the best when your emotions are heightened, stuff like that. Um, Going off of when your emotions are heightened, we got a good payoff, but at the same time, we introduced a new mechanic, and it's very interesting. We go through the entire book that Apollo will gain goblins naturally, and the new mechanic introduced was a little bit unexpected just because it was something that wasn't really thought of before. Unexpected for Apollo and for me, but if you're a little bit more intuitive than I am, you'll probably pick up on it. Really cool, but again, we waited until the last 12 pages to introduce it, so it was a little eh. Ultimately, we see that because of this, Apollo changes tactics. He wanted to be a king that delegated well, that didn't lead from the front lines like he used to, because he um, put himself in a lot of danger. He wanted to make sure that his folks wouldn't do that, but ultimately realized that that was the best style of leadership for him. So that big change and shift very quickly was cool to watch. Um, and then how that's ultimately going to change in the future with something that happens at the very end will be very entertaining to watch. So we'll go ahead and start the next one and see where it takes us from there. See where Apollo and his group of misfit goblins and hobbies go from here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.